Hi, I'm Tammy, and I am the Keto Cricket. Hi guys, so today I'm going to go ahead and do a recipe. This is a great recipe that y'all can make for your entire family and serve it with different sides depending on the people in your family, if they're low carb, keto, or whatever. This is not going to be dairy free though, so be aware of that. Alright, I actually got this recipe originally from my good friend Tabby, and she got it from Taste of Home. So it's a meatloaf recipe. I actually like to put my meatloaf on a broiler pan because I don't like meat sitting in grease. It grosses me out supremely, which is probably one of the reasons I don't like bacon. Bacon is disgusting. So, alright, so I realize that y'all love bacon and love grease. I do not. I think it's gross. So I will post the nutrition information on here. But we're going to do, because I can freeze this later, I can go ahead and just eat it. It'll be a quick meal for me to just kind of heat up. So I'm going to make a pretty large batch today for my little family of 3. But it's a really low carb the way I'm going to make it. So, and I'm going to share this recipe because even though I kind of am stealing it from Taste of Home sort of, I've changed it enough that I feel like it'll be okay. Okay, so let's go get started. So in here I have 1.75 pounds of ground beef. A pound of it is actually some grass-fed ground beef that's 80-20 fat. And the 3/4 pound is some 85-15 ground beef that I got on sale at Walmart. So, and I got the ground beef grass-fed on sale at Winco because I cannot afford to just be buying grass-fed meat. So the only reason I bought it was because it was the same price as non-grass-fed. So we're going to add some minced onion because my son doesn't like the texture of onion, but I do like the flavor of onion. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons, which is a little bit less than about 1/4 of an onion, a whole onion. So it's usually about 1 tablespoon per 1/4 cup chopped onion. If you ever want to figure that, it's a 4-to-1 ratio basically. We're going to put some egg to kind of help congeal it. You can do, 2 eggs if you want. Let's go ahead and add some salt and pepper. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to measure this. And it always looks like I put a lot, or in other YouTube videos I watch, it always looks like they put so much in, but it's really not. Each twist is like not even 1/8 of a teaspoon. It's like a pinch. So instead of the oatmeal that the recipe calls for, I'm going to do almond meal. And I make my own almond meal. There is a difference between almond flour and almond meal. So almond meal is the entire whole almond ground up, skin and all. And usually, and you can get some almond flour that has all that, that's finer. But usually when you see almond flour in recipes, it's usually the blanched almond flour, which is the peeled almond, so without the skin, which is also, if you're doing anti-inflammatory, going to be your better option, by the way, because the inflammation that comes from almonds is in the skin. But anyway, so we're going to do a cup. This is a 2/3 cup measuring cup, but it has a 1/3 cup in the bottom there, so I'm just going to put that in there. And then I'm going to do 2 cups of some shredded mixed cheese. We're going to do the same measuring amount here. 2/3 and 2/3 makes 4/3. Do some math here. And another 2/3 makes 6/3, which equals, for you math people, that equals 2 cups. Good job. Alright, I think it's funny that I talk about math so much. I just kind of realized that. I think I talked about math in another video. I think I like math though. Math is amazing. And then we're going to do 1 cup of almond milk. This is unsweetened almond milk, and it's also just unflavored. This isn't a vanilla, it's just original, just plain almond milk. I don't think that vanilla would be very good in this, so that sounds absolutely disgusting. So I usually will buy this, and this is actually going to expire like today, so yeah. But I buy the unsweetened brand because I would rather, or unflavored brand, because I can flavor it myself. If I want it to taste like vanilla, I can just add vanilla extract. If I want it to taste like hazelnut, I can add hazelnut. And if I want it to taste like chocolate, I can add cocoa. So I'd rather have control of this, and it's cheaper. I'm not buying all these different flavors and kinds, etc. I also notice I say so a lot, so I think I just said it again. I'm going to really try to work on that. So there is our mixture that we have created, and I'm just gonna mix that up really good here. Should have grabbed my spoon. There it is. And we are gonna just mix this up. We can definitely add some more salt and pepper if you would like to add some more. To me, there is enough salt in the processed cheese and the almond milk, because they have to have a preservative in there just so it doesn't go bad in, you know, a day or whatever. It needs to have a shelf life. Anything that you buy in a box or a can is going to have a higher amount of sodium because it needs to have shelf life. It needs to not get put on the grocery store shelf and go bad in a day, because then nobody would buy it, and that'd be a waste of money and time. But I'm gonna just mix this up really good. I wanna get all the ingredients there. I think you could probably make this without the almond milk if you don't have almond milk on hand. You could also use a different kind. If you use heavy cream, for example, instead, definitely want to add water to it. Do not use just a full cup of heavy cream. For one thing, it'll be so high in calories. It'll be crazy, but it'll also add a lot more carbs. The almond milk here, I don't know if you can see that, but it only has 1 gram of carb per cup. So that helps me to stay. Those diced onions are going to add enough carbs to this that I don't need to add any more. And I'm going to use, now that I've got it all mixed in so it just looks like a blob. I don't know how well that is. Maybe we should turn on the light. Oh, look at that. Behold the light. And there you have that. I'm going to use a muffin scooper to scoop it on to my broiler pan. And I don't use any type of spray or anything to keep it from sticking to the pan. There's enough grease in the hamburger that I don't feel like there's a need to add more grease. But again, that is my personal opinion. We're gonna probably fast forward this part through the magic of YouTube. Da-da-da! Look at that, there's a little almond in there. I think I kind of started to talk about that a little bit, but I do process my own almond meal for cost effectiveness. So instead of buying almond meal, I actually buy the almonds in bulk. I get them from Amazon. I buy the organic natural almonds at 10 pounds a pop. Like last time I bought 30 pounds actually of it, and then yeah, that lasts me a super long time. I'm not saying you have to buy that much. It's the same price whether you buy 1 bag or 3. I just typically kind of go on spurts of buying large amounts of product because, I don't know, I'm a weirdo. But anyway, buy at least a 10-pound bulk item though, and it'll last you quite a while. You can use them for recipes. You could roast them and salt them yourself because they come unsalted. But you can also do a lot of other things with them, such as make your own almond meal. Now you could make your own almond flour, which is the blanched, but remember you have to peel the almond, and that, dude, I do not know who has that kind of time. I do not, yeah. So I don't do that. I buy my blanched almond flour, and the oven's ready, perfect time. I buy my own almond flour, and then I make my own almond meal that you saw in that tub. And it doesn't take very long. I just throw it in the food processor and grind it up. Not super complicated. You can also make your own almond butter that way simply by grinding it for longer. And you can add your own sweeteners that way and make it more ketogenic or low carb. Okay, so here are our meatballs. Now the original recipe calls for a homemade barbecue sauce, basically. It's just ketchup, brown sugar, and mustard, and you could add liquid smoke if you want to make it more barbecue tasty. However, because we're doing low carb, I'm not going to add the topping. My son and my daughter actually never liked it with the topping anyway, so I used to always make some of it without any top. My son will dip his in ketchup just at the table, so that's fine. But I'm going to add my barbecue sauce. That way I can really control it. And because I'm counting those carbs, I want to make sure that if I'm adding that barbecue sauce, I get every last gram. So I will serve mine at the table. I probably will heat it up. And I'll show you the barbecue sauce that I'm going to use. I do not make my own barbecue sauce because it's just a lot of work. But I buy this kind right here. This is the C. Hughes Smokehouse. I get this at Walmart. Very, easy to find. It's on the bottom, very bottom shelf of the barbecue sauce section there. But you can see it's got great carbs. It has 2 carbs per 2 tablespoons. So that's only 1 carb per tablespoon. And this is what I'm going to use to put on top of mine. And like I said, I'll probably just heat it up and dip my meatball into it instead of adding it overall. And then my husband can decide he can either use this kind or I'll actually probably make some homemade barbecue sauce for him just on the side as well. And he can decide which one he wants to use. But this is going to go in the oven. We've got it set for 375. I don't know if you can see that. So there's that, but it's set for 375 and it'll take about 25-30 minutes. But you can see we made quite a bit. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26 individual servings. Most people are going to eat 2 at a time. So in the MyFitnessPal app, I will list this as 13 servings because I'm going to assume that there's going to be 2 meatballs per serving. But you could actually make less than that and then just half everything else. And there you go. We'll see how that looks. All right, through the magic of television, our meatloaf is done. Da, da, da. And there it is. Isn't it beautiful? Nom nom. And I always like to temp my meat. So we are going to temp it to make sure. Ground beef should be at least 165 degrees. So we've got this. I'm going to stick it in there. And it is 182. So definitely done. And there you go. And like I said, I'm going to serve it with some barbecue sauce for me and possibly the hubs. And then my son will more than likely just eat it with ketchup. Hope you enjoyed this recipe, and click on the subscribe channel below somewhere, or like this video, or leave me a comment as to what you would like me to make next. Do you have a recipe you want me to try to keto-fy? Maybe I'll do that. Talk to you later.